Hello, I'm Dr. Rosie Kuhn, and this is I Want to Be a Better Coach. And this is a series, as you have maybe heard before, that really speaks to that part of you that wants to be a better coach, but may have some conflicting issues or have some stuff that shows up that just kind of gets in the way of you actually being a better coach. So, this series is to speak to all of those different elements of who we are in ourselves as coaches, as human beings, as spiritual beings, that can influence how we be with our clients, that bring bring more of our effectiveness to them so that they can actually thrive and shine and become their fullest self. So this episode is number 29. Pretty cool. I think that we've gotten this far. Um, and I want to talk about three things ish. It's currently January 15th of 2025. And so there's a lot of talk about New Year's resolutions and bettering ourselves. And, uh, and one of the statistics I saw is that 88% of people fail by the before the end of the month of January. And there's a lot of different statistics that says it's more like 4 months or whatever. But this particular statistic is 88% of us fail to keep our resolutions. Now, the truth is that we haven't failed. People haven't failed. They just have a conflicting or underlying commitment that's stronger than the one that they made a resolve to change. So, we have conflict. We have a commitment that says I'm going to walk every day for all year, and then 3 days in we go, yeah, well, no, not really, because I'm not feeling like it. And so that conflicting commitment is this other thing that gets in the way. So it can be I'm too busy, or I'd rather take a nap, or the kids are, or I got to go pick up, or other things show up. So this resolve that says I'm committed to walking every day, there's a conflicting commitment. And if we know that, then and this is true for every single client of mine, and including me, that we always have a conflicting commitment. If we didn't have that conflicting commitment, our clients wouldn't need us. In a sense, they would just move forward effortlessly. But because we have these conflicting elements in our life, or underlying, well, I'm calling them commitments, we have these underlying elements, then it creates a dilemma. It says, I want to walk every day for the next year, and at the same time, there's a part of me that doesn't want to work that hard, or doesn't want to take the time to do that. I would rather be knitting, or I would rather be playing with the cat, or whatever it is that gets in the way of us following through with that resolve. So I want to make it really clear that it's not that we're failing. There is no failing, and you've probably heard this 100,000 times in your coach trainings, or you may be nurses or doctors or barkeepers or other people that people talk to you about stuff. It's like people aren't failing. We just have a different commitment that's stronger than the one that we spoke. And again, every single client that comes to me has a specific commitment. Here's what I really want in my life. And as we, in a sense, move towards that trajectory of getting the momentum started, the underlying commitment shows up, and it's like, oh, actually, I'm not doing what I said I want to do. I'm not training. I'm not practicing. I'm not involved in making a difference. I'm not doing anything different during the week to support myself in moving towards what I want. It's like, well, what is that gets in the way? It's an underlying commitment, or a conflicting commitment. I like to call it a conflicting commitment, but it's that underlying commitment that gets in the way. So that's a really important thing to know as a coach. And even in terms of your own personal development and development as a coach, you may have specific things that says, hey, I want to get more of this, or I want more clients, I want more money. And at the same time, there's this yes, but, what if only. And that speaks to that conflicting commitment. That puts us in a dilemma. And most times people are talking about a problem. That's a problem. It's not a problem. It's a dilemma. And we all face those dilemmas. The one of the things that sort of shows up all the time at this time of year is I want to change my diet. I want to eat better. I want to eat less sugar and drink less, or not eat so much breads and high fructose or high carb stuff. I want to stop doing that. But shortly after, it kind of dissipates into not being following through. And one of the things that came true for me, so I'm a carbohydrate addict. I love my sugar. I love refined carbs. I love bread. I love bread and pasta. I love those things. The truth is, the more I eat those things, the more I eat those things. And it's like an alcoholic. It's much like an alcoholic. There's a chemical thing that happens that the more we eat, the more we eat. So if after the holidays where we've eaten probably more sugars, more alcohol, more carbs, refined carbs, that influences how we think. We know that sugars affect our brain chemistry. And I have no doubt that when I'm eating sugars, it influences how I think. So if I'm eating sugars, we'll just say, and it's like, well, gee, I wanna eat better. It's like, well, I'll start tomorrow, or I'm going to add this tonight because I've got it in the house. If I have food in the house, certain things, I'll eat it because I do. So being able to go, wait, I'm committed enough to look at what's happening in early January where I'm making these resolutions. I am seeing that I'm so influenced by what I eat or what I drink that I don't keep those commitments that I made because I'm influenced by the chemical reactions or responses of the sugars and the carbs in my thinking process. So I'll go, well, I'll just start tomorrow. And then I'll eat more sugar or more carbs or more something that I love. And then I put it off again and I put it off again because I'm influenced by what I'm eating. This is true statistics and science will show this to you if you want to Google it or AI it or whatever you want. We're influenced, our brain chemistry and how it works is very, very much influenced negatively by sugars and refined foods of all sorts, alcohols, all that stuff. So when we're looking at, I just throw that in terms of saying, okay, I want to be healthier. I want to walk. I want to be in nature more. Okay, great. But we're influenced by this element called food that may be stimulating a part of us that says, yeah, no, not today, or not right now, or not this week, maybe next year. So when we look at that, we can see, oh man, there's something I got to really be with here. So that conflicting commitment really is important to look at for ourselves personally, but also with our clients. Everything that shows up, 88% of people are failing. What does that mean? What do we make that mean? And this is a really important question. What does it make that mean that 88% people failed? It makes us feel horrible about ourselves, as opposed to going, no, wait a second, let's just look at this differently. What are you more committed to? What's the conflicting commitment that gets in the way? Well, you know what? I get into my knitting. I love knitting. I love painting. Lots of things happening. I get more involved in that, and it's like, oh yeah, I forgot to go for a walk. Well, it's not too late. I can go outside and walk up and down, in 20 minutes if I wanted to. It's that choice making. And so that our foods is where we can get into what affects our choice making is our food. And perhaps emotional stimulations, all kinds of stuff impact on our choice making. So when we can see that in ourselves, we can see it in our clients and go, wow, what's influencing this choice right now? You said, if you're working with a client and they say, hey, I was all about, let's say, going to the gym 5 times a week and I'm not going at all. It's like, what's influencing the choice to not go? It's like, well, and then we can look at that. Maybe it's fatigue. Maybe it's diet. Maybe it's some emotional elements that are in the way. But we can look at it in terms of this is more important than this. So being able to do that is really, really important. Seeing the conflicting commitment. And this is true. This has really, really helped me as a coach to go, wow, they're not following through. with their commitments, it's not that they're bad or terrible or horrible people. It's just that they have something that's a stronger commitment. What is that? And I'll ask them, what's stronger? What is that gets in the way? And lots of stuff comes up. Just does. So being able to distinguish that commitment from conflicting commitment is a really good tool for you as a coach, but also with yourself. The other piece that I bring up in this is the concept of reframing. In a sense, as I said, 88% of individuals fail is what the term what they used. 88% of the people fail to follow through on their resolution. So how can we reframe that? And what I mean by that is, how can we turn that into a positive? So it's like, oh my God, you failed. It's like, well, and this is not about looking at the bright side, but what's really happening is not a failure, but again, something else. And so how can we shift our way of seeing this as a coach so that we're helping our clients not slide into the slope of, look, I can't do it. And this is what happens so many times with individuals. They go, I can't do it. It's like, what do you mean you can't do it? And they go, well, I failed again. It's like, well, let's look at the elements of what it is that you're doing that has you fail. And when I can do this, I can see how successful people are at failing. So in a sense, most of us want to try. I should try to be healthy. I should try to eat better. But that should try is really not a full commitment. It's not a commitment at all. It's just like, I should do that, but I'm not committed to it. So we can set up failure. And I've seen this in clients so many times where they're setting themselves up to fail. Now, again, this is not a negative. This is, wow, look how you are successful at setting yourself up to fail. Wow, look at how you're set this up so that the argument happens with your partner and you have this disconnect. Look how successful you are at setting that up for these negativities, these things to happen. And I have found this to be very, very helpful with my clients because we're turning something that looks like I'm a nobody, I'm a nothing, I'll never do this, it's never going to happen, to, wow, look at how you are actually being successful in your strategies. It doesn't matter a strategy to be healthy or strategy to be unhealthy. The strategy is still there. We go, wow, look at how that's in place and how successful you are at maintaining that strategy. Now, when I first learned this, which was 45 years ago when I was training to be a therapist, reframing was very difficult on my brain. It was like, but in reading materials about it and then just practicing, how do I see this upside down or inside out? I actually train myself to reframe things all the time because my clients can't see it. So for instance, I was with my client Susan today. I'm calling her Susan, that's not her name. And she's like, I can't stop trying because by trying I know that I'm trying to be better. And if I stop trying, it feels horrible and terrible. And I hate myself if I'm not trying. And it's like, wow, that's pretty powerful. So she's like, I can't stop trying, but trying isn't making me happy. So I said, where have you stopped trying? And she's a singer and performer and all kinds of stuff, but challenged by that. She wants to be a singer and a performer, the trying to be. And she said, well, I stopped trying to sing. I stopped trying to be a singer. It's like, excellent. So she says, I can't stop trying. And I say, well, where are you already practicing that stop trying? And she starts with 2 or 3 different things. She's giving me evidence where she has actually done that. She stopped trying. And it's like a lot of times we don't see that as coaches because we're listening for, let's get them to try or work on that. But if we go, well, where are you already doing that? That's a free frame, because people say, I never do it. I can't do it. It's like, well, where are you doing it? And people will tell you where they're already doing it. And as you develop a longer term relationship with people, you can go, well, I remember when you told me about you stopped this. Susan was taking singing lessons. You stopped taking singing lessons because you were seeing how that was, you wanted to see what would happen in that you stopped trying. And she's like, oh, yeah. And so where she says she can never or can't stop trying, we can reframe to say, well, I know you already you stop trying, because whatever people are saying they can't do, they've already been doing. We just have to ask the question, where have you already stopped? Where have you already practiced that? Where have you already experienced that? And they will tell you they have. And what this does is builds clarity, like, oh, I'm already doing this. I'm not doing it over here. I'm not doing it always. I'm not doing it everywhere, but I am doing it. Wow, I actually have the muscle or the strength or the capacity to make these shifts. So when we can see that for our clients and expect they're already doing it, they're not failing, we can shift the paradigm. We can shift the orientation from negative, can't happen, to, wow, here's where I'm already doing it. That gives people a sense of self-respect, some confidence, some self-trust, some safety. Because when you say, when Susan says, I can't let go of trying, there's a safety element, a vulnerability that's part of that conversation. If we say, hey, here's where you're already practicing that, and you did it, and you're comfortable with that, they go, wow, I am safe making these shifts and these changes. So it's really a wonderful experience, because we're not looking for and listening as coaches from negativity. We're looking and listening for where are our clients already competent and capable and actualizing their life the way that they say they want. We're listening differently. That makes us a better coach. So that's, to me, the most important thing, is helping my clients see they are so competent and they know how to do it. They already are doing it, and we're just moving and growing the ability to do it where, over in other areas of their life. The third thing I want to talk about is that my clients are my best teachers. In that, where my clients get stuck, I can look at that and go, wow, I'm stuck there too. Or I don't want to deal with that issue too. Or I'm avoiding that as well. Or I am doing that too. So my clients, where they are, and their human experiences, their spiritual development, all of that is a reflection in the world. And I can look at that and go, wow, okay, here's where I want to grow myself. I want to have that capacity. I want to grow that courage. I want to strengthen that resolve to follow through, even if it means following through on what I'm not capable of doing, or where I'm challenged. Some place that I'm very challenged is in not knowing. In a sense, there's a part of me that wants to do a Substack page where I would offer many, many different things, writing and stuff that you do, that I would. And I've got the idea and the theme and all those kinds of things. But there's a part of me that says, nope, don't want to do it. And it's like, but we should want to do it. We should want to. Or people are asking me to do this, and people want me to do this. And I'm in this dilemma. I have this part of me that wants to be committed. I'm not yet committed, but wants to be committed, or committed to, as I say, the fulfillment of the human spirit. I want to be of service to the world. I'm committed to that. So here's an opportunity. And on the other hand, I'm not getting a hell yes. I'm getting resistance on the inside. And this is what happens to our clients all the time. They say, hey, I want this, but I've got this resistance. And so I'm not doing anything. It's like, well, let's be in this conversation about, and again, this resistance is that conflicting commitment. It's like, let's have a conversation about what's showing up. And as I do that with myself, and I'm trying to convince myself that I should want to. I try to convince myself that this would be fun. I try to convince myself, okay? It's not working. And so I go, okay. There's a discomfort with being in the ambivalence. We don't like ambivalence. Just let's make a choice. Let's make a decision. But my decision to create that Substack page, it's not forthcoming. It's not It's not like, okay, let's get started. It's like, So I'm watching and paying attention to this process, and every single one of my clients go through this. I want this, and at the same time, and so I'm really listening to myself as I would listen to my clients and say, what if we just put this on hold? Let's see what shows up if we just don't say yes, don't say no, but just be in this potential. It might happen, the potential it might happen, the potential it might not happen. Let's see what shows up in that practice. And I'm learning this because this is what I'm asking my clients to do. I'm asking my clients to not make a decision or a choice from I should do it or I should want to do it, but I don't want to. I'm not ready to make the choice. And that's true for everything. It's like, I'm not ready yet. And you've heard me talk about this before. When you're not ready or your clients aren't ready, they're not ready. But they're elevating, they're doing the work, there's processes, there are things that are going on so many different dimensions within us that it will make us ready to move forward, so that I say, yes, let's do the Substack, and hell yes, it's going to happen, it's happening. Or, you know what, I'm not doing it. It's a no. But that is all evolving inside me if I make room and allow that space. I learned this from my clients because this is what I'm asking for of them. Make space, allow, be in the unfolding, in a sense, the caterpillar going and coming into this chrysalis state, this metamorphosis state. This is not about a one day on, one day you're a butterfly thing. This is, for us as human beings, sometimes takes a while for us to process and reorganize inside ourselves so that we can know who we are and what's ours to do. I learned this with my clients because that's what I'm asking them to do. I'm repeating myself because I think it's really, really important. You're asking your clients to do something. You're asking them to be with what's difficult. You're asking them to be with what's uncomfortable. You're asking them to move forward in their life. And where are you doing that same practice and process for yourself? This is what makes me, I think, a better coach, because I have so much more compassion and empathy for them because I'm doing that with myself, because they're doing it. They're doing it. If they can do it, I can do it. And it's really a mutual relationship. And I'm really grateful for my clients, and I wouldn't be where I'm at in terms of my own personal development if it wasn't for the courage of my clients. Now, that's kind of a reframe, isn't it? It's my clients that are my teacher. That's a reframe. That my clients are brave and courageous, that I'm learning to do that and be that for myself. I'm inspired by them. That's a reframe. Just as an example. All right. So if you are interested in maybe pursuing some further development for yourself personally or as a coach, you can email me. In the descriptions below, there's the contacts of working with me personally, coaching one-to-one, training one-on-one, or being part of a group. We have a group coaching group. These are coaches that are working and are really being present to who they are so they can be more effective as coaches. Those are all available to you, as are other YouTube videos. I have a lot of playlists out there, blogs on my website, books on my website, and just all kinds of stuff. There's also a link to a form if you have questions or you're challenged specifically in issues as a coach. There's a form there that you can fill in and just tell me what that challenge is, and I'll talk about it here on these YouTube's videos. And or you can include it in a comment below. That lets all of us know that you're in this, you're working on yourself, and gives people support to work on themselves in this way. So please feel free to do that. Please feel free to give a thumbs up. That really helps YouTube know that what I'm offering is valuable to you, and that's a good thing. All right, I think that's it for now. Sending you blessings, and I'll talk to you next week. All right, bye for now.